It's Grand Final week. Welcome to the first ever Kingsgrove Sports Podcast.
That is some seriously chilled out music.
That's good. It's Monday morning.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Kingsgrove Sports Centre first ever podcast.
It's exciting times.
Talking sport. It's what we love to do. Well, I suppose we should give ourselves a bit of an introduction. I'm Hamish Solomons from Solomons and Company.
Solomons and Company.
AKA
Kingsgrove Sports Centre.
Son of the world famous Harry Solomon.
Son of Harrison. Harrison.
Harrison.
Should be my name.
Should have.
On my left, Charlie Carter.
I am Charlie Carter. I'm originally from England. Don't hold it against me. And over here we have Stuart Ailey.
That is me.
Brother of.
Brother of. Yes. Yeah.
Stewie,
Yes, Hamish.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well,
Actually, don't tell me.
No.
Tell
I'll
them.
tell you. Well, you know most of. Well, you know a lot of it. Well, as most of the viewers, if they've been customers with us for the past 14 years, would know me. I've been here for that long, almost as long as you. Well, not quite as long as you.
Have you seen my beard? It's pretty grey.
Yeah.
I've been around for a while.
There's more on the face than on the head these days, isn't there?
That's why I got a hat.
Yeah, that's true. That's why you've got a hat. Yeah, so look, I've been here for 14 years. Still playing cricket with the mighty Georges River District Cricket Club. So, yeah, still involved. So
Season starts for you
Season
guys.
starts, yeah. Season starts
How you hitting them
on
at the
Saturday. I'm hitting them okay.
Yep.
They're hitting the bat, so that's the important thing.
Well, that's unusual for
Less
you.
than and not hitting me as much,
That's
which
good.
is good.
Charlie,
Hi.
Who are you?
tell us a little bit about, besides being a to and from,
A to and from.
tell us a little bit about yourself, mate.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm originally from the UK. Met and married a beautiful Australian girl, so I live here now.
Yep.
We've been working for Kingsgrove Sports for it's about 2 years now.
What's your current role?
Current role sounds very posh.
Yep.
It's New South Wales Regional Field Sales Manager. You've got to give it that.
That's a good title.
It's a great title.
Do we know what it means? Do you know what it means?
I'm learning.
Okay.
It's good.
I'll find out what it
stuff.
means at some point.
Useful, isn't it?
Useful, yeah.
No, it's very exciting to be working here at head office alongside you gents on a daily basis,
And doing some different things.
doing
like
some
this.
different things. Yeah,
Very different.
Do you need an introduction there, young man?
Maybe. I'm the American in the corner, the guy
Producer Nick.
behind the scenes here, sort of a little bit.
He's the button presser and the guy that's trying to bring all this mess together.
Yeah.
Madness together.
Yeah, my name is Nick Yanitsis. I've lived here in Australia for a couple of years. I, too, like Charlie, married a beautiful Australian woman.
There's a bit of
And,
a thing going on.
there is.
Isn't there?
immigration's
Good-
great.
You got good females
Should we
here.
ring Peter?
I'd have to agree with you on that one, Nick.
So yeah, I'm
Crazy
here,
not to.
graphic designer here at Kingsgrove Sports. Involved with the Kingsport redesign, all that new stuff you see on the Kingsport bats, and new catalog design, and then I'm behind the scenes making sure this podcast.
He's
And
being
it
modest
happens.
over there in the
Yeah.
corner, but he is our technical guru.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this podcast,
Well,
and
he's also the bloke that's dragged us out of bed at a sparrow's fart to
Yep.
talk.
Early
The only good
doors,
thing
early
is
doors.
we're talking sport.
We're
So,
talking sport,
and
yeah.
it's grand final week, as
Yes.
you said.
grand final week in the
It
NRL
really is.
Two grand finals.
and AFL.
It really is.
Well, 3 grand finals, actually.
Well,
Really, if
there's lots.
you
There's-
include,
there's
the,
probably others that we don't know about.
that's true, probably.
Yeah.
Like
the
local, some local
something
competition.
like Burke or something like that.
Well, probably,
Grand
yeah,
final,
yeah,
AFL
yeah.
Grand Final.
Finally,
in Burke.
Burke, yeah. If you're
So-
if you're watching, let us know.
It really is. Like, Stewie, we've done this thing time and time again. Grand final week, I remember being a kid, Bulldogs versus Dragons, red and white bread, blue and white bread. That's what grand final week is to me.
Yeah.
Sadly, one of the teams is from Melbourne, the other team is Eastern Suburbs. Not to offend Steve Green, one of our employees here is a massive Roosters
That's okay.
supporter.
Yeah, the one.
But
Yeah.
if we were to be truthful, they are probably the two standout teams of the competition.
Well, they came first and second, didn't they? They were, pretty
Yeah.
much up there. So I mean,
Pretty much. So in the weekend results, the semi-finals, the Storm 22 knocked over the Sharks 6, the Roosters 12, defeating the Rabbitohs 4. Some major talking points to come out of the games. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the first one,
Will Billy play?
will Billy play?
Will he be
Obviously-
suspended? Was that his last game?
Obviously, at this stage, he's out. Pending
Correct.
appeal, they will pull no punches when it comes to who they get representing them.
That's right.
Probably Chris Murphy.
Well,
Have they announced who's...
I don't know.
Just as a little bit of background for those that don't have a rugby league history, such as myself and other people listening, the rule about the shoulder charge.
Yep.
Can we explain a bit behind that? There was a player that unfortunately died as the result of a shoulder charge, whose name escapes me right now. Why was that rule brought in, and why is it such a dangerous thing to do?
Well, they basically brought it in for safety. It was it's especially like in the defensive line, not so much with how Billy used it essentially, but more like just in the defensive line. It's very easy for it to go wrong. And
look, I thought it was one of the most spectacular ways of defending growing up. And you remember, go back to the days of Sonny Bill Williams. He was
Mark Dyer.
Yeah. But I think just at the wrong time, it's deemed to be very dangerous, and it was just one of those things in regards to player safety. Obviously, we know what's been going on in America.
Yeah.
So I think just was one of their opportunities to clean up the game to avoid probably problems later on down the line. There's a whole host of other reasons.
They are big blokes, and the understanding is that such big blokes coming at each other at such force, the G-forces are incredible.
Yeah.
And obviously there are going to be injuries.
Yeah.
But it seems to me, from looking at the replay of Billy Slater's tackle,
Yep.
if he had just put his arms up,
Yeah.
he would have easily stopped the try.
Yeah, whether I don't know whether he would have stopped a try.
No. His argument is that he was worried that he was going to, like the Cronulla player was going to step inside him, and then if he had to try and go with a conventional tackle, he would have got his head in a dangerous position, and he could have been concussed. So he just sort of went with the bump more than anything else.
Keep in mind, it's a split-second reaction.
Yeah, it's
like your reaction time in that sort of scenario. You have no time, and Billy Slater has been tackling like that for a while. They've had to try and change their techniques, but muscle memory probably saying I don't think he had a lot of option. He could have tried to raise his arms a little bit. The fact of the matter is, he saved a try, did what he needed to do, and then went on to score 2 tries. He was a major part of the Storm.
I'm sure they'll be able to go through and find a similar incident where someone has a
the question begs now, in our expert opinions, I use that term expert loosely,
very loosely,
will he play? Will they appeal? And they will appeal, obviously.
They'll contest it.
Will they win the appeal?
Well, that's it. To the letter of the law.
No, I think he should. I think he should play. I didn't look at it and see there was much wrong with it, really. I mean, it's not like some of the other ones where he's gone in with his knees. So I mean, I think he should play.
I tend to agree with that. I mean, it looked to me like it was more shoulder to shoulder.
Yep.
Which isn't, in my opinion, as dangerous. I'm happy to be proven wrong. To the letter of the law, he's banned to rights.
Yeah.
He's banned. But do you bring mitigating circumstances into this, like it's going to be the last game of his career? It's a grand final.
I don't think they can take that into consideration when they're making the decision. But
do you think they will, though?
Well, no. I don't think so.
In a roundabout way, they probably will. So I think
but find a loophole somewhere.
Yeah.
To me, it's almost as if, right, we've banned him, so we've followed the rules of the game. But there's probably an understanding that if they appeal, that's his way back in.
How can we get him off?
Obviously, the guy has changed the way fullbacks play. He's the greatest fullback, I think, in the history of the game. And it would be a tragedy for him not to play. But I just think to myself, in this situation, if it was a lesser-known player, he'd be gone.
He'd be out, yeah.
He'd be gone.
Yeah.
So, and it's an interesting one. Now, a friend from the eastern suburbs, he's been let off, so he'll be available to play. He was involved in a lifting tackle. I thought to myself there's a situation.
Yeah.
Slater out, friend out. So anyway, I suppose it's a watch this space type situation, but I think he'll play.
I think he'll play.
And I'm still not sure whether he should or not. It's just one of those ones where it's too romantic for him not to play, if you know what I mean.
True.
He needs to send off.
Well, what about in the obviously in the other game, the big talking point?
The other thing
his mate. What's that?
The other thing is, if he doesn't play,
yeah,
do do you think he'll still win the Clive Churchill medal?
Probably yes. Probably yes.
Well,
He'll be best on. He would definitely be best on ground. While not being there.
Yep.
We're not being.
Speaking of medals, we've got the Dally M coming up next week as well. Who are your picks for that?
I don't know. I mean, Callum Ponga, 2 of us as Shaq.
I think, they were the front runners.
Yeah.
But I'd have to go with Billy Slater.
Yeah, Billy will get it. But I mean, we need to talk about the
if he doesn't
need
play.
to talk about the Roosters and the Rabbits.
Yes, so Roosters 12, Rabbitohs 4. To me, it looked like the Rabbitohs the week before had played played their grand final.
A bit tired.
They looked a bit spent and emotionally spent.
Yeah.
And I guess that brings into the spotlight the success of the current formula that we have for semi-finals and finals. The rest week proved to be a big bonus for both teams that have made it through the grand final.
Yeah.
And that game sort of outlined that for me. The Rabbitohs just looked hammered,
Bit tired.
They looked out of options, and the Roosters, I suppose the scoreline 12-4 doesn't seem that much of a blowout, but it was 3 tries to 0.
3 tries to 0. Roosters have got the best defence, so. But the big thing now is obviously, can Cronk play?
Yeah. So obviously Cronk took a couple of heavy hits. His shoulder looks to be dangling by a few threads. Rotator cuff gone.
Massive trouble.
Gone. I've done one of those.
Your football was never the same, was it?
Yeah, well, neither was my life, to be truthful.
No.
Is that anything that a bit of cortisone won't fix?
Well,
no. Well, not really. It's a difficult thing to. It's a difficult thing to needle. It's a functioning. it's obviously highly important for the functioning of the shoulder, and I don't think cortisone's going to help that too much.
I had a cortisone when I did my shoulder, but I was only doing this.
Yeah,
He's got a bit more fire coming at him.
He's got to do a bit more with it.
I think he'll play. He's got a year left of rugby league, so it's a situation where.
But how good is he going to be? I mean, obviously, like the Storm know that he's going to go and injured, so you just send all your attack down him,
which is an interesting situation because obviously being an ex-Storm player, asking his very close friends to target him. But that's professional sport, I guess.
That's
you have to do what the coach wants you to do. This is where I think Luke Keary will stand up. I think he was outstanding.
Well, he has to.
He was outstanding on Saturday night, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that takes out the Clive Churchill medal. He'll put his hand up and have a big one, whether Cronk's there or not. They'll obviously look to him to be more involved.
He's going to have to be. He's basically just going to have to run most of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, grand final week, Storm versus the Roosters. Who do we think is going to win?
Well, you've just mentioned that the Roosters have the best defence. Would you say that the Storm have the best attack?
No, they've been well off in that department, to be truthful.
Yeah, Can they break down the Roosters?
It depends. I mean, they've got the players that can sort of just open up a game and produce some magic.
What Storm have is just can do.
Yeah.
They've just been doing it for so long here, and they can lose a player over the years for Lau, Inglis, and they just still keep on coming up with answers.
They're just fine blokes,
and they're always there and thereabouts when it comes to this time of the year.
Do you think there's a fairy tale in the offing then, and that Billy Slater gets off the charge, plays the grand final, Storm win?
That's certainly a possibility, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I believe if Slater plays, I think the Storm will win. If he doesn't play, the Roosters will win. The Roosters, the big men out wide, it's one of the reasons. They've had the greatest defence of the season, but those two big men, those two big guys on either edges there.
Yeah.
Plus the skill that they have in the middle to get the ball to those edges. Tedesco chimes in whenever he feels like now. That'll be hard to beat, but Slater makes a huge difference.
And Cronk not being fully fit is going to be a big thing, I think.
Okay. Score predictions?
Like I said, I don't even know who's going to win, really. I just said that it depends on the outcome of Slater, so it's difficult to give you a score when I'm sitting on the fence.
I think it'll be a tough game, so it could be a 12-4 scoreline, I think.
12-4.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb because I have absolutely no knowledge of rugby league whatsoever. I think
That's
that's
right. Support Parramatta.
And we've enjoyed your input.
it's been great, isn't it? I reckon Storm 18, Roosters 10.
I'll tell you what I
And-
will predict. Yep.
Go on.
What's that?
There'll be a field goal.
You reckon?
There'll be a field goal in this grand final.
Okay.
Golden point one.
Just for the
That'd be
fun?
nice, wouldn't it?
Just for the fun of it?
How about
No,
Nick?
I just think
First score, field goal.
No.
How about Nick over in the corner? What do you reckon, producer Nick?
Hey man, I don't watch a whole lot of NRL. I'm married into a Cronulla Sharks family.
Ah.
So it's over. It's finished for them. They don't care.
But
Don't get
seeing
it.
as how your cousin Dave Dave Solomon's a good friend of ours, is a raging Rabbitohs fan.
Yep.
I'd like to see Storm win it.
Fair enough. But going for the Melbourne team over the Sydney team. That could
My
be something.
brother-in-law lives in Melbourne too. I don't think he followed. He's a Cronulla guy too, though. So
I've got family in Melbourne as well, so to the Cornish family, I'm sure that you love hearing that. I think that Storm are going to win. Perhaps the viewers can let us know what they think
Yeah.
on their avenues. Seems like a good time to give out the handles. Facebook at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports, Twitter at Kingsgrove Sport, singular.
yeah, no
Gotta be,
less. Twitter handles
us
are
know.
only so long.
Twitter handles.
Right.
Yeah. Give us your score predictions. Let us know what you think.
What about
Yeah, make sure if you message or post us, use the hashtag KSC podcast so we know it's directed at us.
Got our own hashtag.
We do. We
Yeah.
have our own hashtag.
Yeah, we're pretty good. What about in the other game?
Yes, obviously you can see, folks, I'm wearing my Bulldogs jersey. It was the Intrust Grand Final yesterday. The mighty Newtown Jets.
Newtown Jets.
The Newtown Jets feeder club for
How
the
good
Sharks.
have they been?
It's been a great
Playing
year.
it- playing it
Not only that,
Henson Park.
I'll give the Jets one thing. They put on a good show. I went to one of their games. It was the food, beer, and footy festival. Don't know whether I got that right in the batting order and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to run with it. Apparently, I had my back turned to the game quite a bit because the beer there was amazing. The Panthers actually won right at the end of the
they're a good
game.
team.
But the Jets got their revenge when they knocked them over in the recent semi-final to make the grand final. The Doggies, they knocked over in a tight one the Dragons the week before. And I watched that grand final yesterday at Leichhardt Oval, the Jets versus the Bulldogs. I think the Jets were the favourites.
Yeah.
And were at one stage leading 10-0. The Doggies clawed their way back into the game. The Jets then took a lead 12-10 with not long to go, and the Doggies managed to win it.
Right over the top.
The Jets literally threw it away. I mean, they in that last play of the game, the fellow whose name I don't know. Sorry, I don't know rugby league players' names. He slipped over and then he got tackled, lost the ball, and the
I've
Doggies
gotta
man goes
say-
through, scores
Did you
a
see
try.
that?
No, I missed that bit.
I feel for the young fella.
You've got to.
Yeah.
You could see the devastation written all over his body as he lay on the floor and realised what he'd done.
Basically, I thought he was injured or a sniper had taken him out.
Where's Leichhardt? Maybe. No.
18-12.
18-12.
So that now gives the Dogs the privilege of representing New South Wales in the grand final. The
State challenge.
The state challenge next week as the curtain raiser to the NRL Grand Final. They will be taking on the Redcliffe Dolphins, who are the feeder club for the Broncos, who knocked over the East Tigers, feeder club for the Storm, 36-22 yesterday. So it'll be all on. So I'm pretty sure that the Dogs today will be holding back on another Mad Monday because they've still got one game to go. But watch out, next Monday.
Could be massive.
Just please,
Could be
Bulldogs,
massive.
lock the boys up in a room with no windows.
No windows, no cameras, no phones.
And
just
perhaps a couple of minders each, you know. We don't want
dear.
any more of that shenanigans.
And then what?
please.
And the other game that we played on Grand Final day on that Sunday, the Women's Premiership.
The women's NRL W, I think it's known as. Yes, we had some results over the weekend. The Broncos 32 defeated the Warriors 10. Broncos probably the most consistent
raging
team.
hot favourites.
I think they won all three, didn't they?
They've been very
So
good.
through to the GF for them. The Roosters in defeating the Dragons 26-0. they head into the grand final. Interestingly, all those teams had one win. So basically, the winner of that team, in essence,
grand final qualifier.
And there was a round game,
Yeah.
the last round game. It was a semi-final, so the Roosters go through. So they've got a bit of action happening over the weekend, the Roosters.
Broncos will win that.
I'd say all 30 or 40 of their supporters will probably be at the game,
Yeah.
including Steve Green.
They might get to see 2 grand final wins.
No, they've had a big year, but we love taking it out of the Roosters, don't we?
Well, they've only got 30 members, don't they? So
Shall we head to the other huge sport in Australia over the winter, the AFL,
AFL,
where they actually go to games.
They do. They turn up. Yeah, they do. A lot.
Huge.
A lot of them turned up.
Huge upset on Saturday night. Richmond, who we thought were laid down misères.
So Friday night.
Friday, Saturday night. It's the weekend. It just all becomes a blur after a while, especially if you're, you know.
Yeah.
So Richmond 8-10-58 defeated by Collingwood 15-7-97.
Collingwood were on fire.
I think there's a bit of a tragedy in the club there with Travis Varco's sister passing away during a grand final game.
Doing game, yeah.
To me, that incident has galvanised the team. I watched them pay respects, and to me, there's something going on there. It's just more than the sport, more than the game, and they have lifted.
Obviously,
now they are grand final favourites.
The massive chance to take it out. Yeah, they played. They were unbelievable on Friday against Richmond, who everybody just thought Richmond had they make the grand final.
Yep.
They're probably going to win it. Perhaps Richmond were a little bit guilty of that too. So conversely, obviously, where the week off helped in the NRL, it's probably not helped so much in the AFL. Richmond has sort of only played 2 games in the past month due to bye in the last round and then winning and having a week off, and they were a bit. They were a bit slow. They were a bit flat. They came out a bit slow first quarter, and Collingwood came out and just and jumped them, and it was hard to get them back from there.
Now we love
especially, and speaking of Americans, especially with their the big 7-foot Mason Cox, just
had
grabbing them from everywhere.
A cracker.
He was on fire.
It's an American AFL player.
Yeah, Mason Cox.
I didn't know that.
Mason Cox. Yeah, he's from. I think he's from Texas.
Yeah,
they make him big in Texas, man.
Everything is big in Texas, as the saying goes.
Yeah, Collingwood took a punt, and I mean he was.
Apparently he was
under the pump a little bit the last couple of weeks.
He was not the best when it.
He was not going. In the first couple of final games, he's not doing enough. He's not producing it. But on Friday night, he just.
You Americans love to grab the moment, right? So
he loves the. He loves the big stage in front of 100,000 people. He just, mate. He was on.
That does sound very American.
Fire.
He is the big stage.
He is the big stage. Yes, he was all over it.
For the benefit of our American listeners and from perhaps our British listeners and other countries
we have one.
We got one.
We have
one confirmed American listener.
One confirmed.
My mom might also listen to the podcast.
Well, she might well. The scoring. Now, I think I understand it, but I'm not sure. Now,
I definitely don't understand AFL.
In AFL, it's basically, here's the goal, but if you miss, we'll still give you a point.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yep.
Okay, so you get it through the middle.
You get it through the middle. That's 6 points. Either side, it's 1.
1. And what's that called? If you
a behind.
You've never kicked a behind before.
Moving on.
Have you kicked a behind?
I kicked it, yeah.
I've kicked a behind.
Man, when I was in university, I was up late writing the term paper one night, and the only thing on at like 3 a.m. for whatever reason was some AFL final, and I zoned out and watched it for about 45 minutes.
How'd you go with it?
I couldn't. I don't know if it was just because I was tired.
Yeah.
Didn't understand anything that was going on. Long before I came to Australia.
One of the nice, I guess, post-game talking points was the sportsmanship showed by Richmond. We love to talk about all the dramas that go in sport. Too much. Sells the newspaper, I guess.
Does it, yep.
But Richmond, the players were very, very sportsmanlike, I think, in my opinion, going around talking to the Collingwood players after the game and giving them advice as last year's premiers about the week ahead of them and not to, I guess, get overawed and enjoy it,
take it in. Yep. Special moment.
I thought that was...
It was nice.
Was a very, very nice thing. Almost a bit like the Japanese rugby team and how they went about their... the Japanese World Cup soccer team.
Yes.
And how the match stuff that they did. They cleaned their dressing rooms. They left
Tied it all up.
tied up. I think,
The All Blacks,
you know,
the All Blacks do that too.
That's what makes sports so great. Aside
Yep.
from the dramatics and the stuff that they do on the field, I love hearing about that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
That's
Sports
And then
brilliant.
obviously in the other game,
Yep.
West Coast were much too good for Melbourne.
yes.
Again, Melbourne probably they wilted a little bit in the heat. Again, West Coast just straight out of the blocks.
When you say much too good, we're talking about 70 points. They
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah, they did.
smashed
Melbourne didn't kick a goal until the second half.
Yep.
So they were just
121.
yeah.
121
West Coast
to
were
55.
good.
Yep.
West Coast will definitely give Collingwood a good run for their money. It's whether or not they can travel to the MCG
Yeah.
and play well there. Notoriously not the greatest of travellers, but
That's Collingwood territory, isn't it?
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, it'll be. I mean, Collingwood's a big club, so they'll certainly have plenty of support.
Well, it's
Nobody else in Melbourne likes
It's
Collingwood.
definitely not
so
West Coast territory.
It's definitely not West Coast territory.
Being from
further.
Certainly not West
Yeah.
Coast territory. No.
Just a 4-hour
Well
flight.
done to Melbourne, the Demons.
Big effort from the
Big
Big
effort.
effort from the
Everyone,
D's, yeah.
they were the massive underdogs. Everyone wanted them to win. Just wasn't to be.
Not this
Collingwood
year, no.
and West Coast will be, I guess, playing in front of up to 100,000
Probably,
people.
yeah. Huge crowd.
And yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think Collingwood will knock them off.
I think so too, purely just because, as we mentioned, it's home territory. It's the MCG. It's a 110,000 seat stadium. It's intimidating. I've been to the top of the stands at the MCG. I've been pitch side as well. It's just an amazing arena, and to have the majority of the people in that stadium barracking for you, that's going to give the players an extra lift. So I reckon Collingwood, but don't ask me for a score or any details or even a player's name.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Collingwood. I just think there's a vibe going on there, and as we
Yeah.
know in sport, sometimes it's more than just your skill. There's got to be like a team atmosphere or something going on there.
You've got to have
There's
some
something
sort of. You've
special
got to have
there.
some connection. You've got to have some
And
connection.
I just feel they'll be too strong and powerful for West Coast on the
Yeah.
day. And I guess we'll watch this space and see what transpires. Do we want to have a little bit of a chat about EPL before we get on to our favourite topic of cricket?
Oh, we can do. What would you like to talk about in the Premier League?
Well, we've just had another round. There's a few interesting results. We won't go through all the scores, but what were your talking points? Now that we give you the opportunity to talk about something that you know about.
No, something I know about. Okay,
Other than planes and reptiles.
Planes and reptiles. Oh, we'll cross that another day, maybe. Look, for me, there were a couple of surprise results. Manchester United being held to a draw by Wolves would be seen as a big surprise. Wolverhampton Wanderers, for those who aren't aware, promoted to the Premiership this year from the Championship. They've had a lot of money invested in them, and they look to be building a very, very strong club for the future. Previously, when they've been promoted to the Premier League, it's been a bit of a yo-yo effect, and they've pretty much gone straight down again. I like Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think they're a great team. And I really hope that they do stay up. So for them to hold Manchester United, who've got that history of winning however many Premier Leagues, 13 Premier Leagues, is it?
Too many.
Too many for our Liverpool fan over here. Speaking of Liverpool, they've had a fantastic start to the year, unbeaten in 7. They've won all 7.
Yep.
They're looking fantastically strong under Jurgen Klopp.
I'll just keep the euphoria just to a minimum until we win.
Can I ask?
I've been here before.
You remind me of a St. George supporter.
Yeah, I've been here before.
Get off to a great start.
Just relax,
and,
just relax.
As a Liverpool fan,
Yeah.
how many times in the last 20 years have you said, this is our year?
Too many. Too many. I mean, yeah.
it's a
So
running joke.
We'll just
Hold off
keep
on
it
the
there.
Premiership shirts.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. I won't print them just yet.
It's a running joke in the UK that Scouts are, this is our year, you know. It's the year that we do.
We'll just relax.
Yeah.
Look, we've started well. We've got a good squad.
Genuinely
let's
this
see
year,
we're playing okay.
Liverpool could go very, very far in the Premier League this year. Obviously, they've got tough opposition to
Not
contend
now
with.
that you've cursed them.
No, well,
Well, my predictions never come true, so I predict that Arsenal will win the league. As a big Tottenham fan.
you've got to stop Man City, and
Well,
no one's stopping Man City at the moment. So.
No, I mean, they've had a big 5-0 victory at the weekend. Okay, Cardiff City have themselves joined the Premier League this year only for the second time in their history. The last time they went straight back down again. It's going to be tough for them to stay up this year as well. There is a bit of a pattern emerging in the UK as well with the football over there. The Championship, which is the second tier competition, lots of teams are having a fair bit of money invested in them, and they're making it to the Premier League and manage to stay there. Now, Fulham are another team that have had a lot of money invested in them. They look pretty strong this year. Watford have been a surprise package for me over the last year and a half. They've had a bit of Elton John's money pumped into them as well. For those of you who don't know, he's the chairman. He owns Watford Football Club. And yeah, it's looking great. West Ham United as well. They pulled a bit of a shock this weekend in that they managed to draw and did so by not scoring.
Yeah.
And it was against Chelsea as well, who again historically, well, I say historically, in the last 10 years since Abramovich has come in and pumped the money in, or 15 years, whatever it's been,
whatever it
a
is,
0-0 draw at the London Stadium, which is a big effort for West Ham. Now, my boys Tottenham, we're off the back of losing 3 in a row, 2 in the Premier League and 1 in the Champions League. We managed to secure a win against Brighton, but being Tottenham, we do it the hard way and make it nervy for the last 5 minutes of the game.
Why not?
That's what we do. And Arsenal, a strong win against Everton. So we said we weren't going to go through all the games, but I think we pretty much have, except Crystal Palace Newcastle, which ended 0-0, and Sarko missed an absolute sitter.
And nobody cares.
Well, I've got to ask the question.
Except for Pat. Pat at Penrith does. He's a Crystal Palace fan.
Oh, dear.
How does one become a Crystal Palace fan if they're in Australia?
Good
That's the big
question.
I think he got excited by the name. It sounds exactly.
It's a great name,
a really
Crystal
cool name,
Palace.
Crystal
I want to go there.
Yeah.
I seriously want to go to Crystal Palace.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd break something there.
I'm sure you would.
It does sound
Like a
bad,
bull
doesn't
in
it?
a
Like-
china shop.
Like maybe
But speaking of the 0-0 draw, I'm not much of a football man. I do coach a soccer team, I must admit.
Yep.
Not with much skill. I should stick to cricket in that department. But a 0-0 draw. You go to your game. How do you walk out of a 0-0 draw? Do you feel like you've been with, or you've tried to court a girl for 2 or 3 months for no result? A 0-0 draw.
Look,
What a colourful analogy.
Honestly, that depends on the game. I mean, you can have...
Depends who you're playing.
Yeah, it really depends on how the game is played as well, not just the two teams. If it's one of those games where they're just passing from the back and going across the field and no one's making an attempt at goal and everyone's parking the bus, it's boring as hell, and you feel like, well, that was a waste of 60 quid on going back to drown my sorrows in pints of lager, not schooners. Whereas if it's end-to-end football, it's attacking, there are plenty of chances. You go out feeling, oh, well, we've missed out on a result, but what a game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the beauty of
An
football. In the same way that,
Exciting draw.
in the same way that in cricket, you can play for 5 days in a test match and no team wins. This only goes for 90 minutes. So it really does depend on the game, and even in a test match.
Well,
if
that
it's
only
just
used to happen when the Poms used to block the crap out of the ball all the time. But anyway,
we're not
Should
good
we-
enough to do that.
so I mentioned some names.
No.
Go for it. Why not?
Well, have you got some?
What about the great Chris Tavares? Couldn't he put up a wall?
You got Jeff Boyko.
I was going to say him.
But
He'd
probably runs.
probably fly to Australia and punch me out.
Should we talk some cricket?
We should talk some cricket.
Yeah.
Well, that was a nice segue
wasn't it?
into the cricket. We've had the JLT Cup play out now for the last, coming up to a week. And
Yep.
some action moving to New South Wales with games at local fields in
North Sydney,
Oval.
North
North
Sydney.
Sydney Oval yesterday
Yeah, I
against
think
Victoria.
Drummoyne maybe.
Drummoyne
tomorrow?
and Hurstville Oval tomorrow as well. So anyway, get on the website if you want to see some local cricket in New South Wales and see what games are being played
Yeah.
around the traps. Bankstown Oval too, perhaps, I think.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
And Hamish, it wasn't just the people that were swarming to North Sydney, was it?
No.
What a segue.
An interesting one, that one. The game...
Bees like cricket.
Well, I suppose, I don't know.
It's happened
is
before.
It the open area, or
I
is
don't
it
know.
just such a sweet game?
Well, it could be. Could be.
That one hurt
Yeah.
a little.
Wow. There's one for Bryden
That's
there.
a little dad joke.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Nice
But yeah, I hope Bryden's listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't know what happened, the game had to stop as the bees just basically flew across
Flew
the
around,
ground.
just swarmed in.
It's happened quite a number of times. It's happened in a game that I've played in out at, but this will surprise no one that's played grade cricket. Happened at Benson's Lane out at Richmond,
Yeah.
where anything can happen,
And it usually does.
and usually
Yeah,
does.
usually does.
So yeah, the game stopped. That they eventually got, but I noticed that they sort of started to hive up.
Yeah, over on the fence.
On the picket
On the
fence.
fence, yeah. They just sort of gathered on the fence. I don't know. Yeah.
Didn't seem to bother the news reporter that was there.
No.
The players are all hitting the deck, but the news reporter goes and stands by the swarm.
Now,
So did they just wait until they cleared out?
Yeah,
So they just cleared out on their own?
Yeah, a little bit, and then just got on with it.
I think they cleared out before the game because they were there to support New South Wales, and unfortunately, New South Wales not playing with much sting at the moment.
No, not much going on there.
It's
another
bee
one
puns. You got the bee puns dialed up to
fire.
10 this morning.
On fire.
So what's going on there, Stewie?
I don't know.
Why are we now currently sitting at a 0 and 3?
0 and 3.
New South Wales, we're not used to this sort of stuff where we traditionally have been the strongest. So obviously, there's a lot of our players generally directed towards national duties and stuff like that.
True.
Little less than usual at the moment.
Yep.
Is it now at a stage where the other states have definitely caught up?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Well, I think the other states have probably gone in front in most cases.
But are we happy with what's happening at the moment in New South Wales cricket in regards to pathways and I guess you could say selections? Are we a little too involved in making sure that some of these pathway players are being pushed through
Possibly.
into a New South Wales team perhaps a little bit early as opposed to guys who are, scoring tons and tons of runs at grade cricket level and not getting a go? Because I feel there's a couple of guys like that. Some of them put their hands up again on the weekend with the first round of the grade competition, scoring centuries again.
Yep.
But yet we don't see some of these blokes get their opportunity at the next level for New South Wales. And at the moment, we're kind of not winning. It's still early days, and obviously we've got the Pura Cup competition to start up after this.
The Sheffield Shield, you mean?
Oh.
You've just dropped back about
What
10.
about
You've just dropped back about 10 years then.
You know what? When you get to my age, it just becomes a bit of a...
The Shield's coming up, yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's probably... there's a bit of a issue with New South Wales cricket at the moment. I think, you'd think the blokes have got the talent to do it, but, it's just about producing it constantly and on the day. There's been some good performances for New South Wales. There's been, like Jack Edwards has sort of started okay. He's been pretty good. Mickey Edwards' brother. Daniel Sampson's come in and he's done really well.
Absolutely.
I mean, his batting.
Well, he's probably been the standout.
Well, his batting's been phenomenal. He belted them yesterday. Yeah. Almost got them home yesterday at North Sydney.
And picked as essentially
he's picked as a bowler. His bowling's been good too. He's been taking wickets. He's been bowling well, but then he's batting at about 8, and he's already scored two half centuries and batting well. So Daniel Hughes has scored a half century. It's good to see Moses score some runs yesterday.
Yep.
But just not quite putting it all together.
Obviously
in the one game.
Obviously losing your captain Peter Neville with a broken digit.
Probably didn't help too. Yeah, probably also didn't help too much. Yeah. Just before the start.
You mentioned about pushing youth through. Look, generally speaking, I don't think that's a bad idea because if they've got the talent, and it's obvious they've got the talent, they're not going to learn to play that higher level cricket unless they play that high level of cricket. I'll give you an example. Jimmy Anderson, when he first played Test cricket for England in 2002 or 2003, everyone was saying at the time it's too early. He's not got the experience. He's not going to get the experience of playing Test cricket unless he plays Test cricket. Yeah. And here we are in 2018, and he's just gone past Glenn McGrath's.
That's true, but he had
figure.
But there was older guys in that team.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the thing is you can't have, and it was mentioned yesterday during the commentary that you can't just have 23-year-olds playing.
Oh, definitely not. No, so, you've got to blood them with that experience.
So I think there's not the issue with New South Wales cricket at the moment. There probably is not too much experience there. Besides guys like Moses and Steve O'Keefe, there's not a great deal of experience in the team. Okay. And if you're all learning sort of at the same time, it's difficult. Because perfect example yesterday, Cameron White. Yeah. Came out second ball of the game. Victoria lost a wicket on the first ball of the game yesterday. Cameron White walked out. He peeled off 100.
Did the job.
No trouble.
Did the job. I think just as New South Wales cricket supporters, we're used to.
We don't like losing.
We don't like losing. No one does, obviously, but we're used to our team doing well, and we have high expectations. And obviously, there's always rebuilding phases in every sporting organisation.
I think we've been rebuilding for a while, though.
That's the thing that probably
it's been a long rebuild.
It's a long rebuild,
and injuries don't help as well.
No, true. No, injuries never help. But
Pat Cummins, He's sort of dogged by injuries on a
True,
regular basis.
yeah. But I mean, if Pat wasn't injured, he would have just been playing for Australia a lot more than playing for New South Wales. So, but I mean, there was some. I mean, obviously, if we look outside of that, there was some good performances. Chris Lynn sort of got 70 odd. Ben McDermott for Tasmania got 100, which was pleasing to see. Kuta Nile was back for Western Australia. Ashton Turner, who is an underrated cricketer out of Western Australia, again just continues to perform.
And as much as we've just spoken about youth and pushing youth through, you mentioned experience is important as well. Peter Siddle being recalled to the Test squad is testament to that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's a good. I think it's a good thing. He's gone over to England. He scored. He's been taking wickets, which is good.
While wearing a beanie sometimes.
Sometimes it's nice and warm over in England. But I mean, that also comes down to injuries as well. You've got Josh Hazelwood and Pat Cummins and they're not injured at the moment, but they just don't have the bowling volume in them to go over and play in a Test series. So they're out. It was good to see that Josh played great cricket on Saturday for St George, which was good. But so Siddle comes in. It's good you've still got those older blokes because again we would have had a very young bowling. We've got a very young bowling attack. So
because it's not like he's going to be playing these Test matches in England.
No, that's true.
I know he had form there.
I guess it's someone that's he's been bowling, so he's he's sort of kind of ready to go, bowling fit. Who were the other blokes you were going to pick? You've only got Mitchell Stark and Nathan Lyon as the frontline bowlers. So
there's a couple of pretty well performed cricketers at Shield level from last year.
True.
With a lot more wickets that I thought probably deserved.
Tremaine
being the main guy.
Yeah.
So that one, had me scratching my head, and obviously the big one in the recent Test selections was the exclusion of Maxwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
he's annoyed someone, hasn't he?
Obviously.
I get that feeling. I think everyone else gets that feeling.
Yeah.
Too good a player, annoying or not, too good a player to leave out just at this very juncture with obviously Smith, Warner, and Bancroft out of the system.
I think it was. I mean. You put him in, you leave him out. I mean, that's up to the selectors. It's more probably about the way he didn't get picked on the A tour, and so if he'd gone over and had a bad A tour, I can understand you don't pick him because he's not playing that well. But when you don't pick him because you think, we know what you like over in the subcontinent, and then you don't pick him, if they'd sort of said to Glenn, look, we're not going to pick you, that's why you're not going to the tour. We're not going to pick you. We don't think you're playing well enough. X, Y, Z, whatever reason, then that would have been better than not picking him because we know what you do in the subcontinent.
Apparently, he found out when he was actually in Australian clothing doing a promo. Does that make sense? Anyway, anyway, I just feel it's a bit unfortunate. That was a big truck. Bit unfortunate.
You get a few of those coming past.
Bit unfortunate, given that I think he was told to go away. And score runs, and he's kind of done that.
He's kind of done that.
Now, the one thing we do love and support here at Kingsgrove Sports Centre is women's cricket.
Correct.
And the WNCL recently kicked off.
Yeah,
and
round one.
A bit of a shock for our New South Wales girls in round one. Your sister, Sarah Ailey, is one of the key players for New South Wales for many years and recently represented Australia. Was that one coming?
I don't know. Was it not a good start? Not a good start in the first game when you got of 149. So the batting batted first and obviously didn't quite go that well. But I think you'd probably be fairly confident then when you've got the opposition at 6 for 20. And a shout out to Kingsport sponsored player Renee Farrell who had 5 of those wickets. First up, she had about 5 for 1 or 5 for 2 or something ridiculous.
Yes.
Early on, so at 6 for 20, you'd think, I think 149 is probably enough. It's probably going to be okay. But credit to Queensland and to Sammy Jo Johnson and Dooley who put in a tremendous partnership and got them and basically got Queensland home off the last ball, I think. 9 wickets down. So
Renee ended up with 6 for 17.
6 for 17. So tremendous effort from Renee, which is good to see. So
we obviously sponsor Renee with her cricketing equipment, King Sport. There,
correct.
Throughout the other games, have there been any other outstanding King Sport performance?
Yeah, there has. Yeah, so Tasmania took on ACT in their first game, and good to see the Tassie girls get up. I think that was their first win in something like 620 days or something. They've had it pretty tough over the last little while, and new coach in town, and it looks like it's done wonders. So another Kingsport great performance from Corinne Hall, 86. Which is great to see Nutsy getting some runs.
She's not only a Kingsport girl, but she's
former employee. Former employee. So good seeing
we love Butsy, so well done.
Meg Phillips as well. She's also sponsored by Kingsport. She's sort of
3 for 27.
Yeah, 3 for 27 and 20 odd not out at the end there. So, which was good. I think Clara's still sponsored by for playing for the ACT. I think she's still sponsored by Kingsport.
She scored 25 there for ACT,
there, which is good. Then in the game, Western Australia versus Victoria, a good win to Western Australia there, and Heather Graham, nice 60 odd there. Also another Kingsport sponsored player, which is good to see. So Western Australia got up in that one in game 1.
And good news in New South Wales' next game, which was yesterday. Against Tasmania.
Yeah.
A return to form.
Yeah. So just a little glitch. Game 1 came out. Business as usual in the second game.
Elise
Perry 50. Alyssa Healy 80 odd. Rachel Haynes 80, I think, as well. So
business as usual.
So 344 for New South Wales batting first, so that's okay. And then I think Tasmania struggled to get to about 200. So might not have even got to that. So business as usual there for.
Should one of us get that phone?
No, I think someone else can get that. We're doing a podcast, aren't we?
For anyone listening or watching too, like mentioning yesterday, we're recording this on Monday morning after the weekend.
Monday morning, so it was the weekend.
Should be published on Tuesday, so all the references to yesterday are Sunday in this case.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So back to business.
I wanted to come up with some sort of Beatles thing there when all my troubles seem so far away.
So business as usual yesterday for New South Wales, and they're back in the winner's circle.
Sunday.
Back on top. So on Sunday, on top, on the Gold Coast.
So
that was probably one. I mean, they had to play on the Gold Coast, so it's probably difficult to play on the Gold Coast, isn't it?
A bit hard to concentrate?
Possibly.
And I must admit, every time I played grade cricket at Coogee or Manly Oval, my mind was generally somewhere else. Now, speaking of grade cricket.
Big weekend of grade cricket.
We had a few notables turn out for the first round of
couple of new guys played.
For the New South Wales Premier Cricket Competition, as it's now known. Steve Smith turning out for Sutherland, scoring 85.
Yep.
And in a game that is close to my heart, Randwick Petersham versus St George at Coogee Oval. Mm-hmm. We had David Warner turning out for Randwick Petersham, and Trent Copeland and Josh Hazelwood turning out for St George. Late inclusions. So that was, this is grade cricket, and you're seeing some of the greatest and best cricketers in Australia at a local suburban turf ground, and some amazing cricket. Now, I want to talk about the St George game. There were 10 centuries scored in the 10 games.
Yep.
Played in the New South Wales Premier Competition. Three of them in that game alone, with St George putting 6 for 277 on.
Good start.
Nick Stapleton and then Brendan McDonald both scoring centuries for St George.
Blake
McDonald.
Yeah.
Brendan.
Plays for the ACT.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, pretty good score.
Good start.
Out comes David Warner.
Yes.
Who let that bloke play?
Bats for the whole innings. Pretty controlled, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Finishes off with 155 red ink. And wins the game for Randwick Petersham.
Went off the last ball. Scampered a single.
Yeah, I felt like just following the live scores of that game that he was in control the whole way. Because, if David Warner scores 150 in a grade game, you'd think, he scored that off 90 balls or something ridiculous. He batted for, I think, 152 or 153 balls. He has obviously really managed that innings really
he has
well.
Yeah, and like a lot of people have been critical of David Warner, especially in the past 6 months, but by the sounds of it, this innings was very controlled, very professional, and from a very personal point of view, the more runs he scores, the better it makes me look, because I'm an overweight dibbly-dobbler Shires cricketer. I did knock his off stump out. I will mention that several times during the course of this podcast.
Yeah,
was in the nets. It wasn't in a game, but
was he walking out or?
No, it was fantastic.
Walking in.
So when you bowled him, did he know about it?
He wasn't happy. Let's put it like that.
Was he?
But it was.
He was switching it. He was switching it.
I want to just point out that I think the reason he wasn't happy, it was just before the World Cup semi-final a couple of years ago at the SCG nets, and there were about 150 Indian fans behind the net, and they went off. When that off stump went out, they let him know about it. But
I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you.
No, well, I've been told there's video evidence of it, but I haven't seen
and
it.
Let
So
me just
if
verify that when you bowled Dave Warner, he was actually in the same net.
Yes, yes, and it wasn't. He wasn't trying to put me into row Z
I feel
to
like
Z.
now you deserve the middle chair.
No, no.
Blindfolded?
No, it's sort of a running joke that I mention it at every opportunity, because let's face it, I am an overweight Shires dibbly-dobbler medium pacer, and David Warner, let's be honest, is one of the better opening batsmen that Australia have had in the last 20 years. So, anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand rather than myself.
Well, let's talk Steve Smith.
No, I'm curious, real quick, before we move on from Dave Warner, how you guys felt about his celebration there at the end of the game. I saw some posts on Facebook kind of teasing his enthusiasm. Which
I think that's all right. I mean, I think if you can be as enthusiastic about playing for your grade club as you are about playing for your country, I think that's
at the end of the day, 100 is 100, and it wasn't just he crept over the line. He went on and made it big. It was 155, and for, like I said, for all the criticism that he's had in the last 6 or 7 months, and I've been critical of him as well. Not that that's important to him. To come out and score 100 will be.
Get him out.
Yeah, it was years ago though. For him to come out and score 100, release that pressure, well done to the guy.
No, I agree completely. I think it was well-founded, that enthusiasm. It was funny to see some people tease him about playing
I just think it shows that these guys were taking these games
seriously.
And
very
not only
seriously.
that, we have to also add into the mix that it wasn't a bad bowling attack he was facing. People like Josh Hazlewood were playing for St George.
Josh Hazlewood and Trent Copeland.
And Trent Copeland. So, it wasn't park cricket, as that particular video that you're mentioning.
Yeah, you've seen the one I've seen.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I think he
I
wants
agree
back.
completely.
I think
Steve Smith at Curringborough, they had a magnificent day. Well done to the Sutherland Club on putting on a great show by all accounts. A lot of people there through the doors,
which is good for them.
Steve Smith was magnificent.
Yeah, signed lots of autographs. Took lots of photos.
More importantly, he scored 85 runs in pretty decent time. Just an outstanding day. They also took the opportunity to present Glenn McGrath life membership of the club.
Yep.
So lots going on, and
the Oval is named after him, isn't it?
Correct.
Yes. And I think more importantly, good to see the former Australian captain.
Yep.
In the runs.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they lost.
They did lose.
After all that,
Mossman chased them down. Anyway.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Watto couldn't play because he twinched his calf on Thursday. So he was out. Would have been good if Watto had played as well with Smithy. That would have been good.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, what a first week.
What do you think, boss?
Oh man,
have we prattled on enough?
I'm delighted with the content today. So if you just want to tell the good people how they can, or maybe I can do it. I shouldn't do it. You guys should do it. Go ahead, and if you want to read them, how they can reach us again, all the Kingsgrove Sports
Mr. Solomons, this is all
channels and stuff.
I don't know. I feel like
you're the voice of Kingsgrove Sports.
I feel like Stewie.
I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough.
I feel our wingman
right. I can. So
and your cricket club, George's River
District Cricket Club.
They're just
they do.
Yeah,
they do.
I will.
It's because the bloke that runs our social media. He'd like to be on here. Probably,
I don't know his name, but I'd like to shake his hand.
No, I don't want to mention him either because it'd just give him too much of a thrill. So I'm not going to do it. But Matt, you know who you are.
He loves the sound of your voice, man. Well, he loves it.
I think he's just taking the mickey. I think.
How could you not love the full package?
He's got a nice timbre, doesn't he? So there's a richness to Stuart's voice.
You're currently single, in case for some of our lady.
Should we post his credentials? No,
we won't. No, we probably won't.
Don't post his batting average from last year.
No, don't. Do it from a couple of years earlier. It was all right.
Is that your number one fan? Like, because
Oh no, he's just taking the mickey.
Oh, because the first time I did a bat review, the very first comment on it was "Where's Stu?"
It was. It really
Oh no, that's my mate. Yeah, no, he just does that for the fun of it. He's just taking the mickey as well.
I like him. He seems like a good guy.
Anyway, if we're doing this seriously, if you do want to let us know about a topic, or
Little angry man's coming out.
just trying to steer the ship, back to not off me. Anyway, if you want to let us know about how bad we've done today, or you want us to talk about a topic, you can contact us on that thing called social media. So Facebook is at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Twitter is at Kingsgrove Sport. Drop the S.
Yeah.
Thanks, Twitter.
Yeah.
This will be on YouTube. On
That's
our YouTube channel, and you can get that through our website or on YouTube at Kingsgrove Sports Centre as well.
The thing not on that list there is the audio version of the podcast will be hosted online at kscpodcast.com.
That too, and then hopefully we'll get out to the bigger ones.
Yeah, working on iTunes and Spotify. It takes a little time to get you there, but we're working on that.
If you get get nice and popular, and of course if you are wanting to contact us, use the hashtag KSC Podcast.
I feel like we should head down the road for
I need a
breakfast.
refill.
Lazy ale. Is it too early?
I think so. It's not mate.
This sort of
hang on.
a little bit cheers like.
Wait for what you've got to hang on for your Mad Monday.
Yeah, I
next
might go
next week.
join the boys.
No, next week.
What shirt are you going to wear next podcast, Hamish?
Depends on who wins.
Okay.
Might wear a cricket shirt next week.
Yeah, because you're not going to wear. You won't wear Roosters or Melbourne, will you?
Okay, boss, are we prattling on now? Time to finish up?
Yeah, man. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, see you later.
Bye.